Hey Planty people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about my Leca journey, give you guys a little bit of a Leca update. I think the best way to do that is to kind of just take the camera around and kind of vlog a little bit of which plants are doing well, what plants I've recently converted, etc, etc. You get the gist. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started because it could get long, it might be short, like who knows. So come on, let's go see. All right, so let's go ahead and start with Hoya Bella. This is one of the first ones that I transitioned into Leca, and she doesn't have a ton of like roots that are showing through the glass, so I'm not really gonna bother showing you guys that, but she has an absolute ton of new growth. Hoya Bella is probably one of my fastest growing plants that I have, which I'm very thankful for because I love this plant. She gives me such good energy and I love her. I will say that it took a while, at least a few weeks before Hoya Bella started to do anything for me in Leca. So yeah, just be patient. Don't just assume that your plants are dying whenever they're in Leca, whenever you've just transitioned them. I'm not going to go a whole lot into what I have over here because I'm going to do a complete house tour at the end of my 31 days, and I'll get to show you guys everything then. This is my Monstera zippolanium. I'll make sure I put the name in the video. But I don't know, he's having a little bit of a struggle. Because I mean, if you look at his leaf right here, it looks really droopy. It should normally look kind of like this leaf. And I'm not 100% sure why. Usually whenever leaves droop like this, it's because they need water. And I just redid his water right here, and I made sure that his nutrient water, that's what it is. I just redid his nutrient water like a day or two ago, so I'm hoping that he'll perk back up soon. I also have my Syngonium albo right over here. I just recently transitioned him into Leca, so there's probably not a whole lot that I can show you guys that's going on with him, along with my Philodendron squamiferum. I just transitioned him as well, so I can't wait to see a lot of new bright white roots growing. So this is my Philodendron burl marks. He has been really happy in Leca. He was pushing out a lot of new growth whenever I had him in water, just regular water propagating, but all of his new growth just kept rotting off until I put him into Leca. And I actually just had to not repot him, but I had to take him out of the pot and remove all the clay pebbles and just like, I guess, repot him. But I just potted him back up into the exact same pot. Over here we have my Anthurium crystallinum crossed with Dorayaki. I believe that's how you say it. He has been doing really well in Leca. He put out this new growth. This only happened because whenever he was putting out his new little baby leaf, I accidentally bumped it and I pulled off the edge of it. So this is my fault. This is not because of Leca. And if you look right over here, he's got another little growth point coming out, so that's really exciting. He's loving the Leca life. I also just bumped him up to a bigger pot size, so I'm hoping that he'll enjoy that because his roots were just like really clustered in there, and I think that he'll be happier like this. So I also have my Anthurium warocqueanum in Leca. I haven't seen really a whole lot of anything going on with this guy. Let me see if I can find. There has been like a little bit of root growth. You can see that right there. And I know that that's brand new just because the roots, whenever I washed them off, were all like, I guess you want to say like a darker, covered in soil type of color. And that's completely normal because this was in soil prior to Leca. I'm hoping to see maybe a new growth point at some point, but you know, it is what it is. I'm not rushing it. I'm hoping that she'll flourish for me in time. Over here we have my Hoya linearis. He is in Leca. I put him specifically in Leca because BB Plants put hers in Leca, and I was really hoping to have the same kind of luck that she has. Hers is like flourishing and is having a really good time. Mine, I don't know, he doesn't seem to be having the best of luck, but I'm hoping that if I just give him a little bit of time, then he will bounce back. I think that's all the plants that I have in Leca that are in my room. Welcome to the Hoya section and the Syngonium. So I'd say literally every single plant that I have right here except for that one and that one are in Leca. I'll probably go ahead and transition those two soon. But let's go ahead and talk about what we have right here. This is my Hoya Rebecca. Hoya Rebecca has done really, really well. She's put out this new leaf and this new leaf, and I think she's, you know, she's really killing it. I don't think that there's a whole lot of roots that we can see, but you know, we see a lot of new growth, so that means that it's still happy, it's still having a good time. This is Hoya, how do you say it? Croniana Eskimo, I believe that's how you say it. Hasn't put out any new leaves, any new foliage. I don't see any new roots whenever I look through the pot, but his leaves feel really nice and plump. And before they weren't feeling like that. They were feeling like really fragile and like really dehydrated. So I think we're going in the right place with this guy. Kind of talk to you guys a little bit about Hoya numeraloides. I'm struggling with him. I don't know, he's just not being a good friend to me right now. So yeah, no new growth, no brand new shiny roots. We also talked about this guy in my previous video. I think it started with a D. I believe that's what his name started with. But I'll make sure I put that in the description box. Anyway, I redid his potting. I went through, and instead of actually rotting roots, it was just some spag that was left around the roots. So thank God for that. So he's actually doing okay. I rearranged the way that he was sitting, and he actually looks a lot better anyway. This is my Syngonium pink. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not really the smartest when it comes to Syngonium, but this guy is really happy, if you can tell by that really large root right there. He's having a good time. He's not been in Leca long. Let's go ahead and talk about my Hoya macrophylla green form. Also, you will see a common thing with these guys. They are not killing it, they are not thriving, they are just surviving. There's no new growth on this guy. He's had this growth point for a while, and he just hasn't put out any new foliage, which is fine. I'm just glad that he's not dead. Here is my Hoya Kentiana that Add the Aeroid sent to me. Thank you so much. I haven't seen any new growth from him yet, but I'm still hoping that that'll be happening soon. It was just a 2-leaf cutting with some roots, so let's just be patient and find out. This Hoya, I also don't know the name of this Hoya off the top of my head, so I'll make sure I link it in the video as well. Such a fuzzy Hoya. Definitely good for leaf fetting, especially the newer leaves. They are so fuzzy. Also, no new growth, no brand new roots to show off, but you know, he's not been in Leca long. I think he's been in it for just a few weeks. Now here is a real awesome. Looking at this just makes my day. This little baby just makes my freaking day. Oh, there's a freaking fucking snap. Welcome to my life now. But I actually had this guy. He was killing it. He was thriving, and then all of a sudden one day, all of his leaves just started falling off. And so as a last ditch effort, I had this leaf, and it was connected to this stem, which I know is really important in order to keep Hoyas alive and actually get them to grow. They actually need a little bit of stem as well. And so I rooted it in water and it produced roots, produced a lot of roots. And so I thought I would just try it in Leca. And it is put out this new little baby vine with a new little baby leaf and some nice roots right there. So I'm really, really happy that this guy is doing so well. Here is my Hoya, what is his name? Trebbiana? Trebbiana. Sure, that's how you say it. Also, he's been in Leca for a few weeks, not very long. Not dead, not growing. Let's continue. Hoya australis Lisa. Hoya australis Lisa is actually doing really well. There are a lot of new roots growing. Probably need to pot her up again, but I'll put her right back in the same pot. I think it's just important to make sure that the roots aren't coming out the sides and going down to the bottom. But this guy has probably shown me the most root growth, but absolutely no new foliage. So that's not concerning, but it's just a little confusing. Last but certainly not least is my Hoya Crimson Queen. She has put out a lot of new growth for me in Leca. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of Leca roots to see coming out of the pot yet, but she's put out a lot of new little babies for me. Like this is new, it's still really, really nice and flimsy. I also added my cutting that Emily Jean's plant sent me. I added it just in with my plant and I think it made it nice and full. I love the way that hers is like really, really variegated on the edges as opposed to mine, which just like has a little bit of variegation. I think it makes a nice, cool little balance between the two. But this guy is doing really well. He's definitely thriving. Yeah, he's having a really good Leca experience. All right, and that is the end of the tour. I figured I would end the video with some nice, sweet kitty footage, especially since that's all I get in the comments from one particular person. It may or may not be my boyfriend, but we're not even gonna, just don't worry about that. So here's Maggie in her cute little cat tree. Maggie says that if you like the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you really like the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.